Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to the Faith Revival. So last time we talked about this idea of realizing the sweetness of faith. But how do I even begin to get there? And the Prophet ﷺ recognizes that there's a spectrum, that it takes time to get there, but a person has to actively practice certain things before they get there. So there are many hadith where the Prophet ﷺ will say, "La yu'minu ahadukum hatta." No one of you believes until. And the translation is not that you don't believe as in you're a disbeliever until such and such happens, but that you don't truly believe until such and such happens. The most famous one, the Prophet ﷺ says, "La yu'minu ahadukum." No one of you truly believes until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. Because now you are putting the love of Allah above the love of possession and the love of circumstances in this world. And it's either the love of Allah that leads you to take care of your brother, or loving your brother for Allah that leads you to take care of him. So from the sweetness of Iman that we talked about last week, two of those things come into the equation. He says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no one of you truly believes until I become more beloved to him than his wealth, his family, and so on and so forth. So again, this is when you've reached that elevated level of Iman. But how do I even begin to get there, especially when it comes to theology? Especially when it comes to my aqidah, my creed. Listen to this ayah in Surah An-Nisa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. I swear by your Lord, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they do not truly believe. حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ فِي مَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُم. Until they make you the judge of all of their affairs. So it starts intellectually. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's sunnah is what governs the interpretation of the Quran. It's what governs all of our affairs. When I try to find an interpretation of the Quran that's going to settle well with my current context, I will not resort to anything without first going to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the tradition of the Prophet ﷺ, orthodoxy, to find my solution. Theologically, I'm willing to settle on that. The Prophet ﷺ is our judge. We take it back to him sallallahu alaihi wasallam when we have any difference, when we have anything there. But what if going back to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ makes us uncomfortable? It's difficult, right? So we feel like we need to escape this interpretation for our current context. Rather than, maybe some things don't apply in our context. We feel like we have to escape from it so that we can feel better about it. What does Allah say next? ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَرَجًا مِّمَّا قَضَيْتَ. The next level is not just intellectual, it's that they make peace with the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. They make peace with his judgment alayhi salatu wassalam. So they are able to resolve, they don't find resistance inside themselves, internally, when the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is put forth. There are elements of your faith that you are not going to be able to practice in your context, but you should make peace with all of them to be able to say that Allah and His Messenger do not wrong. Allah and His Messenger, alayhi salatu wasalam, everything that has been legislated through those two means of divine revelation, either the Quran or the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, all of it is just, all of it is merciful, all of it is moral, even if my current context does not consider it as such, and even if I'm never going to practice any of these things. That all of this comes from a place of morality and goodness, and I don't find that resistance inside of me. So I move from the intellectual to the breaking that resistance. I'm willing to make peace with all elements of my faith. But then look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says next, وَيُسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا, and they submit themselves then willingly. Now I go to a place of sakina. By understanding and contextualizing everything about my faith, by learning more about the Prophet ﷺ, by learning seerah with sunnah, his biography with the things that come from it, by learning tafsir, the methodology of tafsir, the interpretation of the Quran and everything that comes from it, by building myself intellectually and humbling myself internally, I now come to a place where not only am I not finding resistance internally to elements of my faith, I am finding myself submitting to this faith with a full willingness and embrace. I don't find any resistance. I am proud of the Quran and the Sunnah. I feel enriched by the Quran and the Sunnah. The Quran and the Sunnah puts my heart to ease. So you go through intellectual, resolving internally, or resolving any disputes you might have with the faith, to going to a place where you're satisfied with it. And that's where a person starts to taste the sweetness of faith, and they actually realize the true reality of faith. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be of that last category, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us on the way in that journey of faith when we feel that resistance, and allow us to overcome that resistance. Allahumma ameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. See you all next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.